Welcome back to another video, guys. Before we get started on today's video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell for notifications and all that good stuff. So today what we're actually gonna do is give you guys a bit of a summary on how we fixed that whole piping issue that we had. Jocelyn, you want to show that? So initially we had told you guys that we were gonna make this one long piece. Not only was that gonna give us issues in removing the intercooler piping, but it was also a little complicated trying to get these like right pie cuts and all that stuff. So we're obviously beginners at this, but hey, live and you learn. So here, as you guys can see, we ended up using 245s and now the whole system is ready to rock and roll. So it does get a little close to the latch, but don't forget that this engine is actually, I probably can't lift it right now, but it'll rock back a bit once the transmission is on there. So it should give us a little bit more clearance in the front. So right here, it's not necessarily touching, but like I said, once it sits back a little bit more, we should be good to go. So that is all finished. And then for the last part that we got is
alternator.
Alternator, yeah. So check it out, guys. So there is different truck alternators, obviously, but so there was a bit alternator discussions are a little confusing on the forums. So the housings are different, they are a different size. A lot of people say that they almost look identical, but this one is smaller by, I almost want to say like an inch all around. So now this clears and the pulley is smaller, so the belt that we did have last time, it fits. So we're good to go there. So belt, we're all set. We got our belt too for our AC somewhere right here. So it's all good stuff. So truck bracket, that was all taken care of. Yep, so
Worked out good.
We're ready to go there. The next thing that we got to do, we did talk about plumbing in the last video, and we got all of our fittings ready to go, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So we got to figure out how we're going to run all this stuff, which lines we need, everything for the turbos. And here we got our sandwich plate. That's what we got here. We need that one. What do you think? Good? Before we do this, or before we drill into it, what we should do is maybe run a bolt through that and just start laying out our lines, and then if something pops up where we can't have it, we move it, you know.
That's a good idea.
Perfect, let's do that then.
Smarticles. That's why I keep you around.
I'll live here, dude. Okay guys, so we got our two fittings on our sandwich plate. So, and our line comes off here. We're gonna get rid of this tape eventually. We just put it on there just so things don't fray. It's a lot easier to put it on the fitting itself, on the hose end. So idea again, slapping it right here, and then we're thinking about passing it on the left hand side of this header, and maybe after that we could probably use a 90, and that would go directly into our oil feed for the turbo. So the turbo itself does have a restrictor plate already, or a restrictor, so we don't like overflow it with oil, and
that's good.
Yeah, it'll bust out the seals. So I say, Justin, if you can, please just get this mounted on here, and just look for some random bolt just to hold it in place so things don't move around and stuff, and we'll go from there.
Okay,
cool. All right guys, so we have both of our feeds complete, and I guess up until the point where they connect to our sandwich plate and the ends themselves. So we used our fingers of steel for those. Got a couple blisters, but not too bad. So now we will have to clock the turbos just so the feed is in this position. So we want it right here. As you guys can see, that's the drain. So we'll want that on the opposite side. And what we are going to be doing right now is we're going to be using, and I did measure this, this should be enough for the fittings that come off the oil pan, the in and out. So we'll be able to connect that to the sandwich plate and have enough for these.
And the turbos?
For the turbos. Yep, right. So, but for the turbos, it's only like 1.5 feet, so we don't need a lot for that. So it'll be perfect. So the ones, I think we can do those next. We could probably we don't have our fittings, our dash 10 fittings just yet. We will get them on Tuesday, but I think we can go ahead and cut these to length, get them press fit on the engine themselves and on the oil pan, and we should be good. So we can also measure the ones out for the turbo.
Yeah.
So these are gonna be, I think, -10. Yeah, they are gonna be -10. So I have 4 fittings coming in for Tuesday, and then that should complete the entire oil system. I'm gonna go ahead and attach this line, and then the second line that's around her neck, and we should be good to go. Then we'll see where we're at with placement. I mean, we measured it, so we're all right. We're gonna leave the tape on the ends, but because we are gonna get a hose end from here at -10 that's gonna connect directly onto the sandwich plate, and then we should be good to go, guys. So after that, that's it. That's all for oil. Then we can deal with coolant.
Well,
so,
we need the return from the turbos.
Oh yeah, we can do those too right now. So that's not gonna be a big deal. Like I said, Tuesday we'll get our hose end, and then we should be ready to rock and roll there.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
All right, guys. So we're gonna make a trip underneath the car down here. So as you guys can see, we got our front sump right here, cross member, and then here's our oil return and our oil feed. Following these lines up and around, and up there to where Justin is for the sandwich plate. So nice and clean, no rubbing at all, and she's ready to go.
Okay guys, so come check this intercooler. So we just knocked this out real quick. We had an extra 90 laying around, so we cut it to where it's almost a straight, but it's a little offset, and we will have to get another coupler. We actually borrowed this 90 from the top, but now she fits. So the other thing too that I want to show you guys, as we were testing this, we want to show you guys what happens when this engine is in its actual position. Again, because it's front heavy, once we get the transmission on, we think that it'll drop back a little bit. So I do have to bench press the hell out of this thing. I'm getting down here, but there you guys go. You guys will get a good idea. Check that out. Looking good, huh?
Yeah. We gained like half an inch of clearance pretty
All
much
around.
everywhere, yep.
I think before we do this intercooler piping and we really secure the one on the left, I think we'll want to attach our transmission or something and see where we're at before we do any exhaust work, because that could really get nasty down there. You don't want it to touch anything just because it's going to be so tight and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Again, hope you guys liked the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next week.